to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Harmony, and today I've been asked to talk about some tips for getting into Supta Kurmasana, the sleeping tortoise, or Kurmasana as well, I guess, because it comes before. So one thing you can do, there's a couple of different things that you need to think about getting into Kurmasana, but sometimes standing up and starting to work the shoulders under the legs, like in a Titipasana, really trying to get the shoulders back under the legs before coming down, will be very helpful. So the more you can work the shoulder under the knee, the more you're going to be able to move into this posture with a little bit of ease. Now, at the beginning, it's quite challenging to kind of hang out in that posture, and even bringing the feet together is more challenging. So if you have a couple of blocks, once you get into the position of Kurmasana with the shoulders under the legs, pressing the feet forward, when you move into Supta Kurmasana, if you have a couple of blocks here, you need to bend the knees and see if you can work the feet up onto the blocks. And then you can bring the head down to the floor, and it'll just create a little bit of space. And then you can start to work the arms back. And maybe you can catch your fingers and maybe not. So I think using the blocks is really helpful for slowly working into a deeper Supta Kurmasana position. If you're lucky and you happen to have long legs and long arms, this posture is definitely a lot easier. If you have short little arms and legs like I do, and a longer torso, I guess, it gets a little bit challenging. So as you can see, when I go into Kurmasana and then move into Supta Kurmasana, when I bring my feet together, my head, if I really stretch out, will just rest in my feet. So to get the feet behind my head requires a lot of movement and flexibility and wiggling. I can't really cross my feet just like easily around my head because of some proportion issues. So those are real, they do exist. So for me, the easiest way to always do Supta Kurmasana is to sit up and start to work my legs behind my head. And this is true for a lot of people with these similar proportions of having a little bit longer torso, a little bit shorter legs and arms. Because once you can get the feet behind the head, then it gets a lot easier to catch the fingers behind the back and also to cross the ankles behind the head. And just so you know, the ankles don't need to be crossed behind the head for Supta Kurmasana, but for me to cross the ankles at all, they have to get behind my head, and pretty much the only way they're going to get there is to sit up. So once you do that, you want to lower slowly with control. You can bring your head down and then reach for the hands, and maybe they can grab, hopefully, and then point the toes. And all of a sudden you're in Supta Kurmasana, and you're ready to come back up. Good, and do the exit. Now, what if you can't get your legs behind your head sitting up? Well, there's a couple of ways, of course, to work that. Those are the same sort of preparations you do for Ekapadashirshasana or Dvipadashirshasana. You can lie on the floor. One great way is if you have a wall, to push one foot against the wall and to take the other leg, try and get it behind the head as much as you can. And then you're going to kind of lay back here. And then you're lounging and trying to push the leg down to the floor using the head. But you can use the hands and pull on the foot and try and push the opposite leg into the wall. So getting a really straight line through the opposite leg while you're using your head to push that other leg back and down to the floor. And then you can kind of hang out here and just like make an Instagram video or read a book or scroll on your phone or meditate, go into a deep meditative state for a while, whatever it is you like to do. So that's probably one of the best ways to work Ekapadashirshasana with the floor supporting your spine. It's pretty safe, and if you can't lie all the way back like I just did, it's helpful to have a little bit of a blanket or a rolled up cotton mat. You can fold it up a few times and put it under your low back for a little bit more support. Or even a bolster can be helpful just to support the back where you kind of hang and try and push the leg back. So that's a very effective way to start to work leg behind the head. Otherwise, some nice modifications for Supta Kurmasana is if you're here, maybe you can get your hands back and your feet forward, but then you could just take the hands forward, bring the feet together in this wide Baddha Konasana position, and rest the head down into the feet. And this is quite a restorative posture, or you could take the hands out and bring the hands behind the back. And then again, rest the head into the feet. That's a lovely, nice modification for this Supta Kurmasana position. And sometimes you can kind of do something that resembles the posture, of course, but just watch your low back. This position can be very challenging on the low back area. And so you kind of twist yourself into this pretzel-like posture and take the hands back and rest the head either in front of the feet or behind the feet or in the feet, whatever works for you. I think you all know those types of modifications, resembling the posture as much as possible. So those are a few tips I have for Supta Kurmasana. It's a very challenging posture, and honestly, you have to be a little bit careful of over pulling some of those muscles and tendons and things moving in the low back area. So go slowly, go cautiously, use the blocks, hang out on the blocks for a while. You can even do that without the hands. You know, get your feet up on blocks. You can even stack double-decker blocks. You can keep the hands back, or even without the hands, you can hang out here with the head just relaxing down to the floor. And the more you can kind of hang out with the feet up, releasing the back area in a nice passive stretch, the easier that Supta Kurmasana position is eventually going to be. You need to release the glutes a lot, and also the muscles supporting the lower lumbar. So thanks for tuning in. Happy holidays coming up, and it's so nice to connect with you all. We'll see you throughout the holiday season.